Another day, another stream. We're here. Few things on schedule today. I'm trying to go over, so I did a lot of the what do you call the shaders. I got a lot of the card shaders working. They're all very nice. And I am in the process of fixing them, as in fixing the parameters, because I did a lot of copying and pasting and making it work first. So I'm making it so that it's more compact, so it's more efficiently described. And then we probably want to do, I got my 99% burnt out design back. So I need to pick about 4 of them to kind of further develop. I like a lot of them, but, you know, I need a little bit of help picking which one you would like to wear, you know? If you were to imagine wearing a t-shirt, hoodie, or a mug or whatever, I guess you don't wear a mug. Ooh, cap design would be nice too. Hi, Kelso. You know, what would be nice? The brand name right now is 99% burnt out. And this is our first product launch. So I would really love to focus on what people resonate with. Like they feel like, oh, that's pretty sick. And of course, right now it's not colored. The color will change in the future. It's just the base design. And, you know, it needs to be whatever. So we'll see. But yeah, the shader was working, but it's not working again because I'm now parameterizing a lot of these things. Trying to make sense of it so I can teach people how to do this, or at least explain it, you know. Maybe not teach per se. But yeah, let's do my announcement first, and then we'll get going. We'll get going with the day. Ooh. Let's see. Link for YouTube. Copy. Boom. We're here. Okay. I'm gonna let people stack in for a little bit while I do this, so I'm just gonna focus on fixing some of the shader language. This part is really tricky / confusing. So I made it so that the foil effect, like the effect scales, can be changed like this. This is a little confusing. I also don't know what looks better. If it looks better like this, or if it looks better if it's like squashed a little bit. Like that. IDF? What's that IDF? What do you mean? This is good, I think. There you go. That's my foil. IDKF. I don't know. Oh, McCreary says, it's Sim and he's live, but who is he and will he survive? We'll find out on next episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that what is that what you're doing? I kind of wanted to understand what's actually happening with the shader, but maybe we don't do that. I just need to rewrite some of these parts so that it's a little bit cleaned up. So some of the things that I am reusing is not reusing, you know? So got the foil effect. I probably will put all the effect into a same spot. So we got the foil effect up here, which should be probably... Vertex would be the perspective. I think I'm going to put all the effect stuff down here. Not really sure what's calling this effect in particular. Oh, it's color swirl. Color swirl effect would be its own thing. Yeah, going through it. Luckily I've already confirmed that it's working. So all these code changes is not a big deal. Hey Celine, long time no see. McCree says, I like the new chat position, not covering 90% of your face. Yeah. Yeah. McCree says, want to understand what's happening with shader, consult a mathematician would be my suggestion. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, kind of breaking it apart eventually will make sense. Also, we have the benefit of visual confirmation, so you can see, change numbers to see what's going on. I just recoded the foil part so that all of the extra parameters are now condensed to whatever I need for this purposes. I don't know how to say your name. Hey, you're back. The guy from yesterday or the other day. Sausage Man. This person really loves talking about sausages. And I have to say, like, I don't mind it. And sometimes it's distracting from the conversation and flood the chat. But so far, so good. So far, not so distracting. So I'll leave you at that. No mute this time. A very dedicated sausager. Cheese it. Nice. McCree says, shiny, and from looking at it, I know how it would feel to touch. Yeah, exactly. It feels really nice. It feels metallic. Celine says, hey, yo. Tis assignment hell keeping me away from streams, lol. Well, hey, like, focus on that. It's okay. You love cheese? Nice. We love cheese. I'm sure we all do. Well, Celine, I know it's getting late there. Maybe I should get your opinion before anybody has to go out. So I'll do this in waves. I'm just taking a tally here. Pick me your 4 favorites. And I'm going to tally up on here. So this is our 99% burnt out merch design. Think like hat, t-shirt, mug. And I really want to focus on something that really resonates with you. Of course, like, this is black and white right now, but it'll be it won't be black and white once everything is said and done. But it might be, who knows? That's up to us. So we got 16 concepts from the designer. We got the text-based one, we got some text design, we got some logo design version, and then we got the graphic version. I'm trying to see which we are leaning towards. A 5-stream streak, thanks. Celine says, concept 3 grabbed my attention first, so I'm gonna go with that. Okay, Celine, top four. I'm gonna show all of them, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'll scroll through it slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, Celine says so far 4 and 10. Okay. If you don't have 4 top, that's okay. 4, 10, 7, 9. Good. Yeah, 10 got a lot of vote, actually, in my personal life. Okay. McCree says, need to pause a bit on 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. Kelso, you also, in a single line of your top 4. Fernando says, hello, Ezra. Hi, Fernando. Oh, it was so fun doing our little session. By the way, we did our first consultation session. Well, I did my first consultation session with Fernando yesterday. A really cool game idea. I'm not going to spoil it because I'm going to release a video on that later. But it's fun. It was really fun talking about it. I was surprised at how much game design we talked rather than just like coding part, but that makes sense. I mean, sometimes like a lot of us, as someone who are more technical, lack some intuition on UX or just kind of player experience in general. So that was really fun to talk about. Fernando says, it was. Yeah, it was fun. McCree says, for me, I would say 3 and 10. Okay, just 3 and 10? 3 and 10. 10 got a lot of vote. 10 actually, people most really like the 10 for some reason. Kelso likes 11. That's the first vote on 11. If you have more too, Kelso says 5, 7, 10, 11. Okay. 5, 7, 10, 11. Wow, 10's really leading it. People really like this. I was thinking that this, I mean, this has like this like a sound wave feel. Mikuri says, I would pick 16 if it was on black. Oh, I see. Okay. One vote on 16. Maybe we'll pick one from each category, like the tops from each category. And then send it over. All right, all right. Well, thank you, thank you. Fernando, you also have any thoughts? Our new merch line, design, vote, top 4. Just to picture what resonates with you, with the message, in that, like, you would love to wear it. You wouldn't be ashamed to put it on your body, I suppose. That's the concept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to have to do this once more people come in as well. So sorry if you guys are here early and seeing this over and over again. But yeah. Okay, we're going to migrate all the effects onto the single area. Just got to make sure because, unfortunately, shaders are position sensitive. So we got to make sure all the helping functions are properly ordered. There you go. Okay, nothing's broken yet. And we're going to have to adjust some of the parameters. I'm going through each function one at a time. I think we have enough. We still haven't done the frosted effect. I wasn't sure, Mikori, if you meant like the frosted glass, like a card with the frosted ice over it, or the card becomes kind of like semi-transparent ice itself. Because those would be like two different concepts. One is more difficult than the other, I guess, for sure. Useful. And any other shader effect that you guys are thinking about for your own game that you're like, oh, I'm going to sneak in a function so I can get a free shader implementation. You can use me at this point. We got the negative shine upper layer. And then negative effect. There you go. And then polychrome is good. I think those are all the effects here. So I'm going to copy these 4. And then put it down over here with the other effects. Definitely need more cleanup here. Fernando says 10 for me, definitely. Okay, another vote for 10. 10 is the best one so far. Mikuri says, oh no, I already read that part. Fernando says, today I had a really busy day at work, so right now I'm having a coffee and just making props. Shaders are literally a nightmare for me. I mean, shaders are difficult, but I think it's one of the most satisfying ones to get it right. I wish they fixed the debugging issue with shader. It's just really hard to debug shaders. Mikuri says, ooh, the second one sounds cool. Like the card itself becomes frosted glass would be cool. But I did mean like just over it completely when I first suggested it. Essentially just this over the card. Oh. Oh. Okay. I see. Interesting. Okay, I mean, I think that's pretty noise dependent. I think we can make that. That doesn't look too difficult. It's actually a easier version of the foil, I think. Instead of using the ring, you would use a noise as a texture. And different color splotches. If we can figure it out. Alright, so we got the poly. Okay, foil is good. We're gonna go back to our color swirl. Let's see if we can fix our color swirl so that it has as little or efficient parameters as possible. Okay, so it is very noise dependent. Yeah, color swirl is nice. So there is a downside to the color swirl. The problem with the color swirl is that right now it's applying to a very specific color. Like you have to assign a color that is background and then it replaces it, as opposed to being laid on top of it. So if I didn't do this, if I didn't separate out the color, then the color swirl would be applied on top of everything, which would look different. You are able to customize the colors. Right now I'm using green, red, and blue. Yeah. I'll probably keep it there. Keep this thing. I should probably rename it though. So right now I already renamed. So I basically got the foil effects offset and scale set up. Foil speed. These are all important ones. And then I'm going to, this is dissolve text doesn't do anything. That's okay. This burn size is nothing. FOV is with the perspective. Rotation is with the perspective. Inset, I don't think we have to worry about the inset as much. Because as long as it, I don't know if people will care about it being inset a certain one. I mean, maybe it's an easy way to do a quick animation where you can go boop, boop, like that. But I feel like that should be done manually. But we don't have to worry about. I think we don't care about if it's polar coordinate or not. Polar coordinate makes it so that it's like a north-south type of coordinate, where it draws little like sideways heart shape. So yeah, okay. So we got this is the what would you call this part? This would be considered effect toggles, right? And then down here we have, I guess I should probably copy this. We're cleaning it up. That's effectively what we're doing. You know what I had to do to get the other hollow effect? I had to open the source code for Balatro, which you can do it very easily apparently. So I have a source code for Balatro on me, so literally I could copy it if I want to, like exactly. And literally go, oh, I made a copy of Balatro by reverse engineering Balatro. Fernando says, one thing I forgot to ask you yesterday was, what do you think about the scope of the game? I think it's subjective, but I think I was considering the scope when we we're talking about it. I'd say it's not that big. I don't think it's that big. If you, depending on the game, like the level design, I think if we're talking about, if you really sit down and think about what is your first time playthrough of learning, overcoming challenges, and discovering the variation of the function, like the putting things together and put together, and then some big escape as your vertical slice for demo, for you know, getting it funded or whatever. I think that's not too bad. You should be able to do it within a year very nicely, I think. Kelso says, feels so good. What does? The swirl feels good. Swirl is nice, though. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I might make two modes where you have this like color replacement mode, and then there's the maybe overlay mode for the swirl. Potentially, maybe that's what we want to do for every single one of them, but we'll see. This one is called foil effect parameters. Watermelon says Balatro? Baltario? No, Balatro. Also, hello. Hi, Watermelon. Yeah, right now it's not working, so I can't show you, but I did post the example of what I have achieved so far. Look. I posted on Blue Sky. I guess this is also a... Well, okay, here's one. This is my demo. I got the hollow working. This is like actually literally the Balatro hollow. I got the negative working. And then you can mix and match these effects. Pretty cool, right? Jamify is the unique one. The one doesn't exist in Balatro. I came up with this one, but accidentally. That's pretty cool, right? And then I did something else, which is, did you know in Balatro, actually, the negative effect has a shine to it. I only got this because I opened the source code. You have the polychrome, which is this kind of like film effect. Great for booster packs. And then the negative has this shine as well. And I made it so that all the shines move with the rotations now. And this is all shader, which means it's done on graphic cards, right? Graphics cards, GPU instead of CPU. So it's fairly quick. It doesn't really impact the performance too much. So those are what I have so far. Now I'm going through the shaders to clean up the code and understand it better. So basically, there's so many uniform variables here. I need to whittle it down to only the ones that we require for this game specifically. Chris says, by the way, did you change your camera setting and or LUT? You seem more red-orange. Was what I was going to say before I moved the browser to my other monitor and you turn normal. Yeah, the HDR, I think, I don't know. I mean, I do have a little bit of orange. My back is orange, by the way. My backlight is orange. But main light is regular daylight, so. McCrory says, holy triangle foil. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I mean, some of the mixtures look really nice. I like it. Yeah. Watermelon says, ooh, looks nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know what? I'm so excited to share this with everyone. Available for free. Hey. I don't know how many people would actually need this type of combination of shader specifically, but, you know, I'll probably upload it on shaders, godotshaders.com too, as well, probably. But it definitely will be part of my deck builder template. The whole, like, because, you know, the effort of this plugin is basically like, if you ever want to make a deck builder game based on a type of deck builder game, you should be able to do it quickly, you know? But here we are, here we are. Okay, so the color is good. We probably want to bring up the... Okay, so we said we're going to get rid of the polar coordinate thing, because we don't need that. And then we're going to bring... we're going to change the comments here real quick. This is color swirl parameters. And then these are perspective parameters. So we'll have dissolve parameters here. Dissolve parameters. And then we got camera FOV, which is all perspective. Perspective, rotation parameters, which will be rotation, inset, FOV, all those things. I don't really need to do all those things. I almost feel like the perspective should be at the top before the effects. So I'll put it over here. Like so. Okay, so the color swirl so far, this whole polar center thing, I don't know where I'm using it. I don't think we were using it, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Polar zoom, polar repeat, yeah, all these things are unused, so we're gonna get rid of all that. Spin rotation we are using, right? Because spin rotation makes it so that, like, things are, you're rotating where it is, which I guess is kind of silly to control. Like, I guess, but it's randomly moving, so like turning it, I guess you could do it like this for animation purposes. Like if you're animating it using tween by changing this value, that might be useful. Spin speed is also this. Now here's the thing. Daily Realization says, working on some shader code, Bellatra stuff? Yes, I am. I'm making a basically shader package for card games or deck builders on Godot. So I'm planning on releasing a video on this along with the code to share. So far, we got a lot of stuff done. I keep showing it because I really love looking at the effects. I think I can never get tired of it. I literally had to open up a Bellatra source code to figure some of these things out. So we have polychrome already working. We have our negative working with the shine. By the way, negative was different. So the way Balatro applies negative is not just inverting the regular color. Like, because normal negative is just inverting the RGB values by doing 1 minus whatever RGB value there is. They have these like color shifting. They don't just flip it. They shift the red value or green value using like the maximum of the green and the blue. It's interesting. So because you notice like the blue before negative, the card was originally blue, but even after negative is blue, it's only some of the outlines become negative. Yeah, Kelso says also shaders really don't do much calculation, so I like using shaders. Yeah, and because it's purpose-built operations. It's not a compute shader. GPU processors don't do normal computer calculation. Their instructions on their hardware is purpose-built, hardwired, so they're very, very quick. But that also means that whatever your operating system or coding language or machine code, every time there is a new type of chip, like new generation of chip, that needs to change entirely, or like you're going from one company to another. This one downside. And then we have this. I'm trying to show it to daily relaxation right now. I know I already showed it, but we got this hollow effect. Very cool, very cool. We got the negative plus hollow. We have our little foil effect plus hollow, Jamify. I love it. So fun to watch. We got the foil. Oh, foil and Jamify looks really nice. Oh my goodness, that actually looks like a diamond. Anyways, looking very cool so far. McCory says, so a shift negate. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's like negate only certain channels, but then shift other channels, but not just shift into other channel, whichever is bigger. Like shift red to green if green is bigger or something like that. Like that kind of weird thing. And it makes sense because if you do complete negation, there is like a visibility issue, like contrast issue. So it's pretty smart. I have to wonder, I feel like I want to, at least if I can get Balatro creator to answer some questions, I want to know if they came up with their own shaders or like they found it somewhere. Because this is a lot of work to figure out and experiment. So we got swirl color 1 and 2 and 3, which we're going to replace these. They're back to black because they got reset, so we're going to change this. How about a little bit of yellow, little bit of red, and then a little bit of purple. Whoa. It's got a little bit trippy. Ominous. I really like the color thing I had before. I'm gonna make this deeper actually. Yeah, I like this like more like soft green and teal combination. Yeah, they go well together. Pseudopolice says, yo, quick question. How easy is it to create a game like Pac-Man? I'm guessing you mean Pac-Man with no K. Pac-Man for an experienced dev who doesn't know Godot. Pac-Man, okay, let's see. It's top-down, continuous movement with simple collision and point system. I think very quickly, if your experienced dev already knows how to code, you understand coding, and then you take a day to understand Godot stuff, maybe 2, if I give it a nice padding. And then on the 3rd day, you have most of the mechanics down. And then 4th day, you have a polish. Like, technically, you could do it in a day if you're really dedicated, if you like to do things scrappily. But if you want to do it like right, I think you can do it within a week. Let's see. Daily says, love it. That looks so good. I remember trying to come up with my own version of Hollow Card Effect in Pixel Composer. Have you seen Pixel Composer on Steam? It's got a node system thing. No, I have never seen what... Like, I don't know what that is, actually. Pixel Composer? What is Pixel Composer? Part of this exercise... Oh, interesting. Oh, it's like a shader... A visual, like, shader thing, huh? I wonder if they used a visual shader graph to make this. I kind of like the math that's involved in it. I'm trying to understand it. And, you know, part of it, I did copy and paste. I did change some parts that I understand, but there are a lot of the parts that I don't understand that I want to understand, and I want to be able to explain it. So that'll be some of the things that I will be doing today, probably. Daily says, yeah, it takes pixel art and you can do all kinds of stuff. It might be shader on backend. I don't know. Oh, I see. That's very interesting. That's pretty cool. I don't know what it's meant for, though. Do you just like, is it for just like art purposes, or is it for like making assets? Sudo says, cool. I appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. You got it. Bulb Turtle also says very quickly. What was that? Somebody did something. Thanks for the sub, Centennium, and thanks for the follow, Sudo. I know my notification is not aligned. I'm a noob streamer. I just don't know how to fix it. Well, I know how to fix it. I just don't have the determination to fix it. Okay. Because says, Pixel Composer. It's a cool app. It's node-based pixel art generator. The first notification was just blank lol. Yeah. Anything YouTube related right now doesn't show any of the labels, but it's okay. We'll fix it eventually. Daily says, I used it to make my 2D pixel art 3D, in quote, exporting a sprite of it rotating. Oh, I see. That's very cool. Very cool, very cool. Oh, I also made I made a change on the rotation shader that came with this. So originally the rotation shader just rotated the image, right? Like this. But now I made a change so that it rotates and shows the backside when it rotates over. So this sprite has both the backside and the front side. And before you had to manually flip the thing, but now the flipping of the card depends on the rotation number. So you could do one of these things like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Young S said, definitely. I'm also working in Godot and want to be part of the community. Yeah, enjoy the community. We have a lot of people that talks about game development and stuff like that, so be here, be here. McQuarrie says, oh, that is nice. What, the flip? Flip is nice, isn't it? Okay, well, now that we have more people here, we're gonna, oh, thanks for the follow again, Automate. Sorry, I didn't see you. All right, everyone, quick attention. We are, well, I'm launching a brand called 99% Burnt Out for merch line. It is for tech industry folks, game devs, or non-tech industry, just people in general who are kind of jaded, is tired of this world, but we are trying to keep on keeping on with our 1% hope and dream, being a game dev or etc. That's the idea. We are working on our little logo design, not logo, but like merch design. So imagine you're wearing this t-shirt, hoodie, cap, mug. So I'm trying to pick one. And I've been doing a survey on what your top 4 is. If you're interested in participating, please imagine yourself wearing one of these and what calls out to you. And then say the 4 numbers that calls out to you out of these designs. So we got concept 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right. I'll leave it at that. Maybe I'll do one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, we can resume our little thing. That will be very cool if you guys can help me pick. I mean, I have some ideas. It seems like 10 is really popular, but Chuck says 9 is pretty nice. Okay, is that your only vote? I'm going to tally it. But if you want to pick other 3 as well, you can. Young S says 9 is the way forward. You like 9? Okay, we got 2 votes for 9 already. You can pick 3 more, by the way, because I want to kind of spread it out so that I see what people's top 4 is. Waterman says if 4, then most probably is 3, 7, 9, 10. Okay. 3, 7, 9, 10. Chuck says will do. All right. I'm going to rename some of these parameters because right now the color swirl one is just contrast, spin amount. Like a spin of what? You know? I gotta make sure these things are properly named and located. So the burn stuff. We got foil effect. Okay, we're gonna remove the dissolve stuff. We're gonna bring it all the way down. Dissolve is all the way down, I think. We'll bring it down here. And then I think I might have to, oh, okay, I kept everything, nice. Dissolve texture, okay, cool. Polychrome, interesting, okay. So we're back at the swirl. Swirl effect. We got spin speed. Okay, so we're gonna say color, swirl, rotation. Rotation, should I call it rotation? I mean, it's almost like an angle. Color, swirl, angle, rotation. And then Dr. Whatever says, hello there, how are you? We're doing well, how are you? We're doing okay. We are chilling. We're making our little Blotro-like shaders on Godot, and we love it, don't we? We do. It would be nice if we can get this pixel to look better, like if we can increase the resolution of that color. Chuck says 10 and 3 isn't bad, but could use some extra contrast. Those are a great note. Extra contrast on 3. Okay. Extra contrast, because the idea is I still need to send it back to the designer and we can still provide extra notes. Be like, hey, these are our top 5s or top 4s. It would be nice if we can work on this, blah, blah, blah. We said 10 and 3. Okay. And yes, on 3. Yeah, okay. Nice. Sick. Color swirl. What else? We gotta name this properly. I feel like my face is darker today. There you go. We got spin speed. Color. I'm gonna call it color swirl speed, which we're gonna have to change again. Nice. Offset will be the color swirl offset. Color swirl offset. Swirl color. I don't know if the contrast actually does anything. Let me see if the contrast does anything. Oh, it does something. Whoa. Well, that's pretty cool. Would I ever use this? I don't know. I mean, it's a parameter, so do I keep it? Like, I'm not sure if this is something that I would ever tweak. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. TCG. What? Weird autocorrect. I don't know what you were trying to say. Dr. Whatever says, sketching some card characters for my Tchaikovsky. Oh, nice. Sketching is good. All right. So with that, I think the swirl is okay. Maybe I will. I'm trying to see what all these things are. Okay, that's what I thought. So pixel filter is the quality, resolution. 2, 3, 4. What about, so 10,000 is already pretty good. Yeah, I'll probably keep that at 10,000, honestly. Like, why would I even change that, you know? I feel like that's a code level parameter. So filter, what's it called? Pixel filter out here. Pixel filter. We're probably going to give it a little float on that, which will just be, instead of pixel filter, it'll be swirl resolution, which will be 10,000 for now, like so. So I'm just gonna ignore that value completely. Though I don't know if people will ever want to change it. I'll be like, you know what, if you want to change it, change those numbers yourself instead of relying on the parameter, because I really want to keep the parameters out here as thin as possible while being effective. So this one goes away. Contrast, maybe. And then you got the spin amount. It's like how swirly it is, I think. Like how tightly rolled out it is. Like though? Yeah, that's what I thought. So we'll say swirl intensity, I think. I think that's probably appropriate. And then we'll use that as our amount. Oops. Where else? Okay, swirl intensity set up. Contrast, make the paint amount range from 0 to 1. I think I'm going to take the contrast out. I almost feel like the contrast is kind of like weird one. So we'll call that over here. And then get rid of it from the top. I don't know what this means. I don't know what these things do. Like, define. Do I ever use this again? Oh, I do. Oh, these are like constants. Interesting. What do we call the swirl contrast? All right, swirl contrast is done. Last thing, I kind of want to do a blending option here. So you know how I said, basically right now we made it so that the swirl replaces, the color swirl replaces where the background color is. So like we've decided on the background color. I guess this is just kind of generic stuff here. Out here like that. And then we decided what that is, and that's what it's replacing. I want to give the swirl a blending option, which will be Boolean. Should there be blending option? Can't. Too bad I can't do drop down, can I? I'll just say. Oh, hold on. I gotta. I'll be back. Give me a sec. Back, sorry. Let's see. So I wanted to do, I don't know what to call it, maybe is swirl as background. I guess by default will be false. And we're gonna take that and go to our little swirl option. So we have our shader here. Is color swirl. Perspective textile equals yeah. And then we do one of these. Oops. I almost want to do a nested one, but I guess we could do elif here. Elif is elsif. Not really sure what they take. Hello. Swirl, and then this is false. For example, which right now, so the color swirl went away. What we're gonna do now instead is take the same color swirl logic, which is a modification on the texture itself. We're gonna have a swirl float value that's called swirl opacity. This is like the blending value, and we're gonna start with 0.5 value here, and then basically we gotta split the opacity where we do post-process texel. Texel being is a texture pixel will equal to post-process texel, the original RGB or original, yeah. So the RGB value depends on the alpha. So original RGB will be fractionalized by 1 minus the opacity, right? And then we're adding that to the swirl's opacity. It's a little laggy. Code is a little laggy, which is kind of weird. Is the shader itself, the execution of the shader itself is not laggy, but typing on the shader editor lags a little, which is a very curious situation we have. I just need to make sure hold on. Unknown identifier says. Unknown identifier in expression post-process texel. Oh, I misspelled. There you go. And then it says invalid argument to operate minus. Ah, right. Like so. There you go. So now we have a choice between this blended mode versus non-blended mode, which is over here. We just go swirl as background, on, off, on. Mix versus non-mix. Let me think about this real quick. I do feel like there might be some auto processing of like swirl overtaking a brighter one. But, you know, for now it's okay. I think I'm going to provide a swirl opacity as a function. Seth says, sup, question on Godot. Any experience on the multiplayer side of it? Construct is limited and frustrating, and I've been considering branching out to something else. I have not made multiplayer game on Godot yet, but I have heard a lot of people ask about it and talk about it. I think there is a little bit of a hassle. From what I understand, it still seems like a best solution to use Godot engine for the client logic only. And if you have a unified server, meaning you're hosting a server for your multiplayer game, then you write server logic separately with other code. Unless you're doing client to client, then you'll have to create a server and client logic on both on the Godot app itself. But unfortunately, I can't speak from my experience, though I would say it's not impossible. I know it's possible because I know for a fact that the Dome Keeper, the game Dome Keeper, they migrated to Godot and they were able to make multiplayer version work pretty well. So that's the extent of my knowledge. Hi, Zuzu. I know this looks like something. Oh, we're talking coffee now. Just made a new coffee drink, which is kind of interesting. It's really good. It feels like woodsy, cocoa-y, affogato drink. Espresso shot on root beer. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Woodsy, yeah. It's like dark chocolate. Anyways, let's see. Ooh, Zuzu, are you excited for our little session next week? We had a good time with Fernando yesterday with our consultation. I'm excited to see what Zuzu has to offer, talk about. It'll be exciting. Espresso on root beer. Root beer. A type of soda called root beer, or category of soda. More specifically, root beer flavor for what is that sparkling drink called? Death water or something like that. Yeah, root beer is good. Okay, so I'm gonna add swirl opacity here. Swirl intensity. We'll go uniform float swirl opacity. Can we do range? Because I want it to be, hold on. There's a range. Yeah, hint range. So we'll go hint range 0 to 1. And it's freaking out because it's like doing this. So we'll get rid of that. So it's entirely swirl right now. And then we can reduce it like so. Doesn't quite hit the same as this. That's for sure. It doesn't feel quite as magical as this. So we'll see. I guess swirl as background would be default. Let's see, swirl as background will be by default true here. Yeah, liquid death. I said death water. Jesus. I'm definitely having a moment right now. My brain is not functioning, as you can tell. All right. Liquid death. Zuzu says, hell excited. Also just love chatting with you. Yes. Well, we gotta chat game, and maybe we'll get something out of it. Oh my gosh. uh, let's see. Kill NPC says the MIP in MIPMAP is an acronym of Latin phrase multum, means multi, right? In parvo, meaning multum in parvo, meaning much in little. Ah, I guess that makes sense. Zuzu says main goal for me is getting you inspiration. I would love to. Yeah, I love providing inspiration. One thing that I was really excited, well, one thing that really surprised me that we ended up talking a lot yesterday was Fernando had a really good game idea as Solid, and a lot of like excitement around the mechanic and what it can be, but not very much like hadn't thought through the player experience of what the game design and goal should be to make it fun. And from that, a lot of different ideas came about. Of course, you know, take it or leave it. And I think we can do the same for you probably. Anyways, all right, we're gonna continue doing this, and then we'll eventually move on to voting for our design again. So far, 3, 7, 9, and 10 has been leading the pack. All right, we got this, all the swirl stuff done. Color swirl, swirl intensity. That's all sick. The blending, opacity blending option is a little bit lame. I almost feel like here, let me do something here. We can do blending option here. I want to keep the darks dark, lights light, so that like the intensity of the color. Maybe it doesn't work. I don't know. I'll keep it at that. You know what? Yeah, that's fine. So we finished our foil, and then we finished our color swirl. Next up, let's do our gemify. I think gemify is one of the more tight ones. So gemify, we're gonna, I think we actually want to bring it up all the way up to here. And diamond effect, UV, we got the texture for it. We already did the diamond effect, alpha. Probably wanna, yeah. And then instead of doing it on the color, we do it on the, yeah, there you go. Post process. Chuck says it might be worth showing the designs in inverse if you are going to sell them on dark colors. They may hit different. Oh, you mean for the merch? Yeah, I mean, once it gets closer to the final 3 or final 4, I think, or final design variations, I think we'll probably have more variations for dark and light, I think. Okay. So we have diamond effect. This one takes a lot of helper function, which is kind of annoying. Chuck says, correct, the merch. Makes sense. Yeah. But thanks for the suggestion. I think that's helpful. We're gonna change the try to be like gem. So we'll say, so we have pattern scale, which makes it, it's kind of inversed. It's kind of weird that the pattern scale is inverse ratio. We got 2 looks like this. Okay. I think 10 looks okay. Maybe like that. 8.2. We like 8.2. And then line color. Line color is what matters. Like, I like the little teal color. I don't know why it's considered line color. The fill color doesn't seem to do anything. Huh. Is it because I didn't... No, it's there. Fill mod changes based on the time. Doesn't really do anything here. Young S said, I've been developing for Android and PC, but I've noticed some quirks between runtime respectively. For example, gyro scopes reference frame versus Godot. Are there any anomalies with regards to shaders? You mean the anomalies in relation to using Godot itself, not like platform specific? So far I haven't seen anything yet. It works as expected from what I can tell. And it still uses a normal GLSL language, so there's nothing like... So far it doesn't feel like it's specific to Godot problem. Whatever issues I have. Yet, at least. The fill color really doesn't do anything. Is it because the fill mask is broken? Yeah. The fill color has absolutely no impact. Like, why even try it? What happens if I get rid of it completely? Okay. There you go. Little blue jam. Maybe bring it over a little bit. That's pretty cool. Okay. But maybe somebody else in the crowd who has more experience with the shaders in Godot can tell you more. So far, so good, though. I mean, this is the most I've spent on shader while working with Godot. I haven't noticed anything crazy yet. Young S says, yeah, I mean, do your shaders behave as intended when running from different platforms? Oh, yeah, you know what? That's a good question. I've noticed something. Not in 4.5, but in 4.3, I had a CRT shader and I had a web browser exports. And I do a lot of web browser exports for like game gens and stuff. Sometimes the shaders just don't show up. And it may be because, I mean, because they somehow need to translate the shader into, what do you call, I don't know, the web shaders, the WebGL. And I'm guessing there's something to do with it. And this is supposed to change all that, like the compatibility versus like 4+ and mobile. Yeah. I think it's always worth it to check it on different platforms. And it sucks that you will have to make some changes depending on the platform, but I think that's just any engine. Unfortunately, I don't think you can avoid that in a lot of the cases. We're gonna make this jam opacity. We're gonna copy that over. Jam opacity here. And then we're gonna grab the Jamify opacity down here. Uniform float, which I guess I'll do 7 for now. Cut. Nice. And that gives us an opportunity to go jam opacity. I guess it needs to range from 0 to 1, huh? Okay. We'll go jam opacity, hint range, 0 to 1. I can go all the way to the jam to semi-jammed. Though I have to say, okay, there has to be ways to make the different texts stand out better. Because when we do polychrome, or, okay, I'm gonna have to change some of these things because the texture scale has changed. I don't know if these are shiny. Oh, we're gonna have to change the texture scale. Young Estes says, see, thank you clarifying, or thank you for clarifying. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I wish I had more knowledge to share, but unfortunately, that's just kind of the limit. Jam pattern scale, and then I don't know what this does. Let's take a look. Jam. Whoa. What happened? Jam pattern. Oh. Right. Like so. 8.5. Probably make it 8.5 by default. And then the line width. Nothing serious here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this doesn't really do much. Oh, that's why the fill didn't work. That makes a lot of sense. I see. Uh-huh. Okay. Interesting. Oh, that's pretty cool. I think that could be useful, actually. Well, now we gotta do this. Gem line width. What? Okay, well, whatever. Int range 0 to 0.34. Gem line width here. Well, I'm a little annoying, but it's okay. Piano says acid. There's usually different compilers between PC and mobile. Same goes with engine. Yeah. I mean, that's why they have these like things. And usually it's on the export option as well. Now, I have to be honest here. I don't have an experience in launching games that require heavy graphics on multiple platforms and testing and all those things. So, yeah. That's my issue there. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm gonna do something different here real quick. We're gonna reduce the gem line and then reapply the fill logic so we can actually see it. Fill color equals try fill color times fill mod. And then we're gonna fill mask. Was it minus or plus? I don't remember. Oh. Can't really tell if it's working or not. Okay, it is working. And is the fill color changing? It's barely changing, but it's changing. Doesn't really do much. I almost feel like the gem effect shouldn't have any of these things. It definitely should just be... Ooh, actually? No. We're not going to do any of that. Where we get rid of these. Don't need any of the fill stuff. And we're going to say the line width. It's just 0.33 though. What's the AA? Smooth step. Young S is said piano piano. Yeah, that makes sense. It's been kicking my ass the past few days. The gyro, IMU, control, Android just feels non-deterministic sometimes too. Erratic behavior, no explicit error. Yeah, using any type of engine other than the ones that are provided to do the multi-platforming is always difficult, unfortunately. That's just kind of the nature of the job. I've decided that I'm going to get rid of the line width thing because it's really not doing anything. I think it's just like gem color, and then we get rid of all this, and then we don't even need this. Like so. And then we're going to replace this with 0.33 for some reason. We're gonna have to figure that out. It's saying the gem color effect color. Okay. That's pretty cool. Celine says, it's getting late for me. It was nice watching. I hope stream goes well. Thanks, Celine. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Thanks for the follow, Mr. Dream Studio. And thanks for the sub, Corey. I didn't see you. Sorry. Corey Robinson. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay. Let me take a look at what this part is. I remember looking at smooth step, but I don't remember what each parameter does what part. So we're gonna have to look at this. A lot of code to do a lot of things that may or may not mean anything. Excuse me, burping up the storm out here. The mask is the important part. What if I just did... Oh, I see. So the whole mask part could go away if I just want the bicentric thing. Okay, what about the line? Line mod color applies the modification. Okay, FBM is the noise frequency. Effect color is just line color. We'll call this effect color. Good, 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 good. We're getting there. Base position. Not really sure what this changes. Doesn't really change anything, I think. Yeah, it doesn't really do much. It's probably the position of the noise. So it doesn't matter as much. This is just a slowness, the frequency of the change. Random cell rand is choosing random cell within these triangles with these. Okay, Mr. Dream Studio says, hello, I just need to ask, is it hard to learn to do... I'm guessing you mean shaders. I know it says do shaders in Godot, but you mean shaders in Godot. It's not too difficult to learn the concept itself, but it is definitely difficult to actually understand the math to invent something. I think there is definitely a learning curve of like needing to work with it several times before you go, oh, I get it. That's how I feel, at least. And even though I'm very used to programming in general, shader programming, that's its own beast. It's kind of crazy. Because we're so used to making code that's like readable, but like when it comes to math, because you're drawing triangles through number and circles through number and then doing different things in different frequencies, almost purely math. You look at this. Like in normal programming, you rarely see something like this. But you can do something basic like understand what shaders are. Learning shaders in Godot is same thing as learning shaders in every other language, because Godot shaders, well, this one specifically uses GLSL language anyways. So, but that benefit of that is basically you can take all your learnings from one shader study to another. So yeah, I would say learning shader in Godot itself is not the hard part. I think learning shader itself is kind of like a difficult thing in general. Though I guess people use graphic shaders. I've never even seen that. I don't even know if that's an option. Is that something I can do? Like edit graphically? I've always done it in code, but I've seen other people do it with what do you call? Not as code, but you know, I keep saying but like you probably don't understand what I'm saying. Like as a graphic nodes. Hold on. I just got an idea. Instead of doing a plus tier, what if I do multiply? And basically, wait, that's the same thing as the other one. It'll just make things darker and brighter, right? Oh, you know what? That's what I should do. I should take the effect color, multiply that to the original color, and then take the opacity from that. So we can take the contrast information. So if we do gem opacity now. Oh, I guess not. I guess that doesn't really work. I was hoping that that'll do something magical. Wait. Wait, what just happened? It wasn't... Oh, yeah, because of the multiplier. There you go. So it's like... This color is overwhelming the original color here. You know what? It's okay. This kind of feels like overlay on top instead of like effect that's on the card itself. But we'll see. Piano says shader graph. Yeah, shader graph. I never worked with shader graph before. I imagine that's a little bit easier, so because you can see some of the basic like basic functions that you can do with shaders, like a math is pre-built. I'm sure you still need to do your own math at some point, but that's why I'm like, how do people come up with this? Maybe they used the graphics shader or the shader graph, and then they came up with this solution using it. And I'm over here trying to figure out what the math is behind all this. But I wouldn't be surprised if some people just know it, though. Okay. So diamond effect, so far so good. Cell rand, whatever. This is a random cell, and then it's just doing the little thing. Barycentric triangle. Not really sure what these are doing exactly, but you know what? I have what I have, so it's okay. We'll do that part. Okay, so we're done with the gems. Next part is the hard part here. Well, not hard part. We need to fix some of these things. So the next one we're going to work on is probably... We just did the... color swirl. This is the gem effect. We're going to do hollow now. Hollow... texture detail, and then that's gonna break a lot of stuff. Oof. This is actually not what the heck happened here. Hold on. I replaced the wrong thing. Okay. It's using the third and the blue and the alpha, which is the third vector or third value and the fourth value as a scale, and first two value as the position. Null information. From what I can tell, at least. This will actually have to be updated to be something else, but it's okay. You know what? I'm gonna have to make these separately. I'll make negative texture detail. Which I guess I should probably make them all separate here. Where's negative information here? I guess none of them are here, huh? We'll make negative texture detail and then polychrome texture detail. This is hollow texture detail. Yep. Okay. Then we go to negative shine effect. This is the shimmer part of the negative. And then we'll go polychrome effect and change this to polychrome texture detail. So. And then turn on our hollow and work with that. First of all, our hollow texture detail will be 500, 500, or 1000. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think it might have to be like huge or something. Hold on. Hollow effect. We're working with Hollow right now, right? It's Hollow. Freddy says Ezra Vermintide 2 is free on Steam right now, 100% off. Yippee. Vermintide 2? What is that? I'm sorry. Should I wishlist it? Is that what you're saying? Wait, was that your game? Potentially. Unfortunately, I don't have the time for new games right now. But I'll take a look. I'll take a look. My goodness. You know what I'm in the market for? I really need a high PvP skill based, like actions combat based PvP MMORPG. Oh, it's Warhammer. Okay. 100% free is kind of crazy. Wait, what? Why wouldn't you buy it if it's free? Are they free to keep when you get it before? Why? Wait, what's the catch? All right. I guess. What? All right, I guess I don't want to install it right now because I don't want to take up my bandwidth. But that's kind of crazy. I guess they're releasing a new game and they're just kind of doing a marketing this way. Chuck says Epic Game Store gives free games all the time. I got Control free through there. I see. Just kind of marketing stuff. All right. Well, that's cool. All right. We're going to have to do some checks here. Our Hollow effect is kind of not doing well. The detail, the texture size, I don't know. There used to be an image detail size that I had to do in comparison. So for example, the texture coordinate needed to be multiplied to some sort of like vector 2 that was like something like that. Like that? Yeah. So the math is kind of funky. The resolution of the effect you see how like it gets bigger? Because I could make it like 200, for example. But it's a little bit more pixelated. So the idea is, oh, I want more detail. Then I'm going to say my effect range is huge. It's 500, 500. So it's like really smooth curve. And then, well, I guess it really depends on the how big I want it to be. I want it taller, like so. And then I change the image detail. So meaning, oh, this is the resolution of the image. For example. So image is 500 and then the detail is 500. So a single 500 fits the entire image. So I would say, oh, you know what? Image is actually really big. It's like a, let's say it's a 1000 by 1000 image. Then it starts to make this smaller. So I think the thing we're working with is like 1700 and I don't know, 1200 maybe, something like that. Yeah. Which is kind of annoying, but I mean, that is Hollow effect, right? And then you could offset it, move it left and right here. Or change the texture detail. So once again, if I can go like 700 to make it big, 500 for it to be this size. If I go 1, it's very tight. 10 or 50. I can do 50 by 50. Crazy. 100 by 100. Like you could argue like, oh, if you make this small, technically it'll make the effect big as well. But you can see if the image is considered small and then the shader is also small, then the pixelation of the shader is different. Now when it gets actually displayed, it's different, but you know, I guess essentially what you actually want is a resolution differences. So I don't know. 500 is pretty smooth here, so I'll do it this way. Yay, hollow effect. Cool, cool, cool. I'll call this vec2 texture detail like so. And then multiply that by texture detail. We can say base texture detail as the parameter though, maybe. So if we use that, we can adjust all the effect based on that. So we could go uniform, vec2, base texture detail, which is like vec2 of, by default, let's say it's like 1700 by 1200. It's gonna break because it's already defined. Get rid of that. So hollow effect is there. Foil effect I also believe uses that. So we're gonna change the image scale here. Do base texture detail here. That makes it so that if I go to foil, it's very tight. I need to adjust the foil scale. We're gonna make it like 500 by 500, right? Like so. Maybe even like 300 by 300. Yeah, that looks good. Something like that. Okay. Foil effect. Hey Brainoid, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna basically set all the texture detail as this. I mean, technically, these are two separate thing. It would be more accurate to say texture offset and texture scale. So if I go, let's make it that way actually. So I can go uniform vec2 negative shine or negative effect offset, and then make negative texture detail or scale. Yo, Ezra in chat, I've been diving into UI with box containers. Fun. Box container, VBox container, and HBox container. I don't know why you would use normal box container compared to other things, personally. That's my thought. But polychrome effect offset, and we want to make a polychrome. Oh my gosh, it's laggy. Hey J Cannon though. Hi, hi. Oh my gosh. It's not copying properly. Polychrome. And then we're gonna fix all the broken parts here. I'm gonna say something detail. Base texture detail. And we're gonna multiply that by polychrome effect offset, and then we're say polychrome texture scale XY. Yeah, XY. And then same thing here. JKN says, I just generalized it, but yes, all of those. Nice. Well, congrats. Sounds fun. I still, I know you're supposed to use those like control and containers to properly handle UIs in different screen resolution. You would think that it's simple, but I feel like it's still, you still get into a case of like issues. This is effect. Okay, that's gonna be XY. I feel like my shader code compiles a lot more than it should. Keeps reloading. Okay, so we're gonna come down here. Negative offset 0. We're gonna keep these at 500 for the scales, because 0 is crazy. Now we're gonna test. Foil is off. We got our polychrome. That looks great. Our negative with a little shine. Color swirl. Foil. Jam. Hollow. Polychrome. I just like how the kind of color effect it doesn't entirely replace it. Like, it still makes it so that the values are legible, and only the dark parts are impacted heavily versus the light parts are basically light for the most part. I think I need to copy that. But otherwise, we got everything, and then the dissolve value. All right. Hollow texture detail. I think the hollow texture detail might need to be also split apart into hollow texture offset. So let's hollow effect. I got polychrome. Negative effect parameters and the polychrome effect parameters. Jay Cannon says definitely trial and error to get it just right. Yeah, like I would never be confident enough to not test it on every single screen resolution that I expect it to be, because you still need to like list it out. Hollow texture scale. Then we're gonna do hollow effect offset. I'll give it vec to 500 by 500, I guess. Was it not the name of it? Hollow texture scale, not detail. XY here. Then this is XY as well. Then we have hollow effect offset XY. Jay Cannon says, I'm creating a main menu, play quit menu. Is there a better way? Not to distract you if it's a long explanation. Better way for what? The question needs to be a little bit more specific, I think. Because you could be talking about anything else. or anything at all. Music seems a little loud to me. Hold on. All right, cool. We got a lot of things going on here. Look, we can go back to our card testers here. We got our little card, negative. Oh, very cool. We can foil them. Look at that. Very cool. Spectral. Gemify. Might have to change the contrast logic for Gemify. Oh. What the? Wait, my holo and polychrome is broken suddenly. Wait, what's working on the thing? Hello? It's right. Weird. Wait, what? Did I not save? Oh. Oh, what? It's kind of weird. Hi, Don. Wait, why is it working over here but not on the game itself? That feels a little strange to me. Let's see. Is it because of the resolution? Potentially. So polychrome looks like this. If I launch it from here, it should just show up, right? I can't really see it. But, you know, you get the point. Only thing I can think of is potentially... Like, is it dependent on screen position? Not really. Chicken, since from your response about box containers, it sounded like you knew a better general rule of thumb way to build it without using box containers. No. I was just saying that in my experience, I just don't have enough experience to feel comfortable being fluid with it. I just have to check every time. Unless I misspell this here. I'm gonna do this. Well, how come negative shine works fine and foil works fine, but holo and polychrome is freaking out? We're gonna have to look at this. Material. Polychrome is on. 500. And then image base texture detail is, yeah, weird. And it's not only is it not working, it's black and white. Which is kind of, oh, wait, hold on, what? That's really weird. How are you gonna do this to me? We're just replacing the image without actually blending it to the original. Holo effect, polychrome effect. Yeah, I don't know. Huh. Wait, what? How? I see it working here. I see it working here as well. I can make it so that it starts with holo, so it doesn't turn it off. Oh. Material is not set yet, maybe? Mm. Let me see, look at the call stack. Okay. The hollow setter gets set because it's turned true. What if I set it to true by default? I'm very confused. Something's happening. Youngest has said, Chuck, Control is such a fun game to play. Control, I haven't played Control, so I couldn't participate in that conversation. How is it that everything else works in Oh, whoops. Seems like I set it to 0 there. Wait, how did it work? Something's funky. I see. Okay. The screen just did an update for some reason. A mystery indeed. This should be polychrome scale. Polychrome effect offset. Yep. It was using the hollow version. That's why it was so broken. This one is hollow. Okay. All right, we're good now. For some reason, I don't know why it was working. This shouldn't have worked, but it did. Very funny to me. Hey, butter coffee. Cheyuk. Cheyuk. Thanks for the follow. Not you writing SQL for SQL. Chuck says, yeah, I'm glad there's a sequel in the works. Like sequel isn't like the second game. That's kind of funny. You know you're addicted to work when... Okay, I think we're set up here. All right, test. Negative is good. Gemify is good. Hollow's good. Hollow. So fun. And when you do click, you go like this. Because it depends on the rotation. So I can do... And then do the zoom in and out. And then we got there polychrome. Very cool. Look at that. Ooh, little chromey. Maybe I can make the polychrome. Okay. The color part definitely receives more shine, right? This one's okay. Gemify. I gotta do something about the contrast on the Gemify. Maybe do something similar to this, where the dark... Maybe the darker colors don't get as impacted. I don't know what the logic would be. Chicken says, that's so cool. Yeah, no, I really love seeing this. It feels really nice. And then you can mix them all for some crazy effect. Look at that one. This one's crazy. Yeah. It looks great. The clarity is lost on Gemify. We need to work on this one. I'll probably try to copy it. copy something else. So the thing that the Balatro guys do is the whole hue, RGB, and HSL control to do some sort of hue shifting plus they do some sort of hue shifting plus contrast adjustment before applying the effect in order for these things to show up better. I think I'm going to try to mimic some of those things. So, for example, if I look at the polychrome, Chuck says really awesome effects. Yeah, thanks. I'm excited to share this. I wish I understood it better. But here we are. So I think for example here, I'm going to take a look here. So if we look at our polychrome effect, I think the polychrome effect is probably the best example. Where is this getting this thing? Where's this coming from? It's just some value. It's nothing. It's just some value. It's not doing anything. Is that required? What happens if I get rid of it? Yeah, it doesn't do anything. I guess it's the base color. No, not that one. Oh, Hollow has a base color? What does that do? Oh. I guess you could put some sort of color, overall color on top of it. I don't know if I like that. I'm gonna get rid of that. There you go. We don't need that extra stuff. Young S said Ezra Primogen. What? I don't know what that word means. Primogen. Is that a person? Pronounces sequel as sequel. That's immediately where my mind went. I know a lot of people pronounce SQL as sequel. I just never seen people replace the word sequel with the abbreviation SQL. Like not C, other way around. I've seen people read SQL as sequel, but I never seen anyone replace the word sequel with SQL before, which I thought was funny. Chicken says, have you or plan to have... Oh gosh, these sentences. Chicken says, have you a plan, I guess, to do a card that looks like a window into a scene? MTG has some, and like the layered ones, like I don't think that requires. I mean, I guess I could do it. I don't think it's that difficult, if I gotta be honest. Right, because it's just different Z distance on the rotation. Or the pivot is different. So you know how we already have this shader where the X rotation and Y rotation happens? And you know how it pivots around the center, right? as if it's like right up against the z equals 0. If you do a calculation where, let me show you. If we do the rotation logic, the perspective part for these vertices, where the z value, this is a 3D projection, right? Data mesh tricks to z value. I don't know if the drawing is what determines it. Hold on, let me get to the perspective drawing part on the fragment. So if we get to the, we're normalizing the projection. So we do rotation. Let's see where the FOV comes through. FOV comes through here. These are all the rotations. The projection is this. So let's say I do like 1.5. Or that's inset, isn't it? Let's see what that, hold on. I mean, there's a math behind it. But you see, like, here. You see how, right? This z distance that got adjusted, which is a projection value, makes it so that the pivot looks like the card is a certain distance away. So if you have two objects where the z values, z offset is two different spots, then by swinging it, you can just set the y rotation and you can see different part of the image move different amount. So you can have whatever is further back move in this rotation, and whatever's closer move with this rotation. Does that make sense? I think so that way the whole like window logic could probably work. Yeah. That'd be cool. Freddy says that effect looks cool. Yeah, thanks. Wait, hold on. Did I read that already? Young S says, dude, I really like that iridescent effect, whatever it is. Like how it shimmers. This thing? Yeah. I like it too. I need to learn how this, like, you see how like there's a, it's warping the hexagon, but then it's coloring the line and the warp separately. I mean, you can almost see a bubble that's going through it. I need to learn how they are doing this. Because how cool would it be if we just changed the pattern of the geometry? Instead of doing hexagon, we do square, we do circle or triangle, right? Kind of want to see it. I think it's just applying polychrome on the line logic. Yeah, we'll see. I like how the jam effect just looks like it's locking things out. Anyways, not as important. All right. Let's see. You know what? We've been here for 2 hours. Let's do one last final vote. I know we didn't get much done besides just reorganizing our code, but that's still something. Wait, why is it freaking out again? He's yelling at me again. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, this feels cool. Yep. All right. Okay, so everyone, once again, if you haven't already voted for my merch design, I need your help. We have a few design options here. We need top 4. Everybody put it in a single line, your top 4 numbers, so I can tally it up. So this brand called Burnt Out. We're coming up with a design to make a merch with. Cap, t-shirt, mug, whatever. So imagine something that you would feel relatable, something that you can wear or you feel like you would wear. Not embarrassed to wear, I guess. All right, so here are the options. Concept 1, Burnt Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Choose your top 4. And if you have something where you're like, oh, I like that, except if it works on this other thing, then that as well. Chicken says, I relate mostly to the burnt out part. Yeah, no, I know. That's why I'm making this shirt or design. I think a lot of people do relate to 99%. But then the funny thing about this is still kind of like wholesome in that you still have that 1% that's not completely burnt out that maybe you can use to achieve your dream or do something great. It's not quite you're broken. You're almost broken. But yeah. All right. Type in your top 4. Please type in top 4 picks. If you haven't already, I know I already collected a lot of people's. 1, 2, top 4. Concept 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 2, 8, 15 from Freddy. Okay. 2, 8, 15. Interesting. I kind of like 2 as well. But nobody voted for it. Well, actually, you're the second one to vote for it. What was 8? Oh, 8's pretty cool. This one feels very like champion, like it's pretty cool design. Nice and legible, but not so simple. Yeah, same. I agree. A lot of people really liked 3 for some reason. I have a mixed feeling about this one. Like, I don't know how well this will come through in a design. It has like arrows and stuff, which I'm like, okay, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But I like the idea of the glitchiness. I personally like 2. Very simple, but like font strong. Young S says 9, 10, 11, 14. 9, 10, 11, 14. Okay. What is it? 9. I do like 9 too. Do I just have bad taste? 10 is actually really popular, so I think 10 is a must. Pick 11, and then 14. Oh, interesting. Oh, 14 is this one. Yeah, 14 is good. Yeah. All right. I'm surprised nobody picked. Oh, I guess we have so far the leading is 10, 9, 7, 3. And I guess we got 4, 2, 14, and 11 is all tied. Canon says 3, 5, 10, 7. Less of protruding part. 7 for less protruding. Okay, let me take note. Got 3, 5, 10, 7, and you said less of protruding part. Yeah, you mean the drop shadow? Shorter shadow. Okay. Tree Bucket says, I really want to use Godot, but the iffy mobile support scares me away. Have you tried making a mobile version? I haven't. What's his name? Just Covino was the other streamer on Twitch on Godot. He launched on iPhone an app, or not app, but the game, and it was really like scrappy. He did it very quickly, and he might have some answers for you that's more relevant, especially because he's technically a beginner as well in terms of like this whole cycle, and doing better than most people, I think, in terms of launching things. Freddy says Covino is live right now too. Yeah, Covino's live right now, so you could go check it out and ask. Let's see. All right, thanks everyone. Jay Cannon says, yep, the protruding part. Okay. All right, let's see. I think I'm supposed to, let me see. Oh shoot. Ads starting soon. I'm gonna check my email then real quick to see how many designs I'm supposed to pick for this initial round. Let's see. For this initial round of design. Also, somebody was saying that the phrase burnt out. I like that they're both ending in T, and burnt out feels stronger than burned out. But in American English, the proper phrase is burned out. And in British colloquial, they call it burnt out. I like burnt out better. It sounds better to me. But I don't know if people will be like, oh, that feels weird because it's like that's not proper English or something. Okay. Yeah, so I got to choose up to 4 with some notes. So I think we like 10. We like 7 with potentially shorter shadow. Freddy says, I've always seen burnt. I'm American. Yeah, no, same. The designer searched it because they were like looking at it for a long time. Because, you know, when you look at something for a long time, it's like it gets weird. And they had to search it. Okay. 7 is a solid choice. I really liked it. So we got 10, 7 with the shorter shadow. Maybe less shadow. I don't know. Maybe this design is okay too. The angle feels a little bit weird to me. Like I feel like the angle is like coming out, which perspectively looks kind of strange. So I think I'm going to say shadow seems like spreading out. Freddy says, I've always seen burnt. What's the number 1 lead? Number 1 right now is this one. Concept 10. Chuck says, I didn't even notice, and I'm in America. Yeah, no. I mean, I'm in America too. That's why I was like, oh, wait a minute. It is true. Like the proper quote unquote English sentence is I'm burned out. Or I'm feeling burned. But no, we do say burnt out, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. This one is leading right now. Okay. I personally like Concept 2, but I'm surprised that not as many people chose it. Actually, a lot of people chose 3. I'm gonna say 3, but Not sure how it will print. Because it's like a lot of details on there. Chuck says, I've probably have heard both. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And then the next one is 9 is actually another one that's leading. 9 is popular too. I actually like 9 too. I could see 9 being a really fun like hat design, or even like those like embroidered patch design. 9 seems solid. All right. Thank you, everyone. That's very helpful. Yeah. Okay. Well. Chuck says, I feel 9 and 10 would go well on a hoodie. No, I agree. True, 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 true. Freddie says, fun fact, a lot of proper English was actually changed by the English to be more French in the Victorian era. Oh, interesting. Interesting, I didn't know that. Well, that truly an interesting tidbit. All right, I'm gonna raid out here. Thanks for watching. Let me raid Twitch out, and then I'll say goodbye to YouTube once the raid is successful. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll probably be back on Monday. Usually on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I know next weekend has holiday mixed into it, so we'll see how that goes. So if you want to keep up, join my Discord. Join my Discord, because I make announcements. Make sure you do all the entry stuff. We got Hypnotic live here. Well, Fyra's been live for 3 hours, so that's a little bit risky. Covino's been live for 7 hours. That's also risky. Hypnotic might be ending soon too, actually, if I understand their schedule. Everybody's just kind of generally 3 hours into the stream right now. And Hypnotic's here listening as well, probably. Let me see. Who's in here? Oh, surprisingly no Hypnotic. Okay, that's fine. So no hard feelings. Oh, we'll go Fyra. Fyra raided us yesterday, so it's a good raid back target. All right, everyone, hop on. Hop on. All right. All right, as long as everybody's up. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Okay, goodbye, YouTube. Bye.